Welcome back to Horror Movies.
In a few seconds, you're going to listen to a frightening tale narrated by me. Fear awaits you. Watch out and take care. On a particularly unusual day, as the Earth crosses the tail of a comet known as Rhea M, inanimate objects strangely become full of life and start to cause havoc in towns and cities. An ATM machine insults a man who tries to withdraw some cash from the machine. A bridge rises on its own and splits into two, making it impossible for the drivers to get their vehicles across. Vehicles on the road start moving on their own, wrecking and crashing into themselves, causing harm to their owners. At Dixie Boy Truck Stop, Duncan Keller, an employee at the truck stop, goes to a truck and tries to refill its tank. The fuel dispenser suddenly stops working and Duncan pulls out the nozzle and tries to figure out what the problem is. The nozzle then sprays some gas into his eyes. While waitress Wanda June is frying some eggs in the kitchen, an electric knife turns itself on and cuts the waitress. Wanda screams out and Bill Robinson comes in and smashes the knife's motor with a hammer. In a different room at the truck stop, the machines start to misbehave, releasing some coins onto the floor. A customer in the room packs the coins into his pocket, but then he gets electrocuted by one of the machines. Meanwhile, at a league game, a coach tries to get some drinks from a vending machine, but the machine won't release the drinks at first. Then the machine forcefully releases cans, hitting the coach until he's badly injured and passes out. The machines release more cans, throwing them at the young team players on the field. The players try to flee, and one of them is run over and flattened by a steamroller. One of the players on the field who manages to escape happens to be Deke Keller, son of Duncan Keller, the employee at the truck stop who has been blinded by the gas sprayed into his eyes. In a moving car, a young lady, Brett, sits next to a much older man named Lorman, who's driving the car. A radio broadcast warns drivers on major highways to leave the road at once. Lorman doesn't seem to be paying any attention to the radio, so Brett takes over the steering wheel and drives into the truck stop. Brett steps out of the car, while Lorman, feeling disrespected, complains about Brett not having good manners. Then a truck turns itself on and nearly knocks Lorman down, but Brett pulls him out of the way. The people at the truck stop soon realize that the truck which nearly knocked Lorman down must have been driverless when Handy, who manages that particular truck, denies knowing who is in it, and shows them he still has the keys. Newlyweds, Kurt and Connie, drive into a gas station to refill their tank. At the gas station, they find a bloodied man lying dead. Kurt moves closer to the building at the gas station and looks in through the glass door. Then he notices a clock with its hands moving strangely fast. Kurt gets nearly eliminated by a driverless truck, but the truck crashes into the building and gets stuck. Excited to have survived the attack, Kurt goes to his spouse and they hug each other. Then they hear the sound of an engine revving up. They quickly get into the car and take off. At this point, Bill is now suspicious of the unusual occurrences. He goes around one of the trucks in observation. He squats behind the truck when Brett taps him on the shoulder. He's a bit frightened but becomes calm as soon as he figures out it's a human who has just touched him. Meanwhile, Deke rides past a number of dead people and animals across the road. And according to a radio broadcast, similar occurrences are happening across different parts of the world, machines seemingly operating themselves under the direction of some unknown agency. Citizens are advised to take precautionary measures which include unplugging all electrical appliances. Deke goes into hiding and watches a bus moving without a driver. Afterwards he gets back on his bicycle, and rides off, escaping from the lawnmower that tries to attack him. Back at the truck stop, Duncan insists he wants to go and find his son Deke, even though he has lost his vision due to the gas accident. While leaving, however, he gets knocked down and eliminated by a truck. Lorman then notices that a truck has just slammed into his car. He runs out in anger and ends up getting knocked into a ditch by another truck. Later, the trucks surround and continue moving around the truck stop, keeping the people trapped inside the truck stop. Meanwhile, Kurt and Connie are still on the road. They narrowly avoid crashing into a driverless truck. But then the truck turns around and starts chasing after their car. They manage to escape, and the truck goes off the road and finally explodes. The couple then tries to drive into the truck stop where they hope to be safe. Their car gets hit by a truck, causing the car to turn upside down. Bill and Brett go to the car and help the couple out of the crashed car. Just then, Hendershot, owner of the truck stop, steps out with a missile launcher and destroys two trucks. They all then go inside the building, and the truck continues moving around the truck stop. Later, Hendershot walks into Bill and Brett and tries to humiliate Bill in front of Brett by mentioning his past criminal record. Hendershot even threatens to call the cops to get Bill arrested. When Hendershot leaves, Bill tries to explain things to Brett, But Brett doesn't seem to be interested in such an explanation. She tries to calm Bill instead. Meanwhile, Deke is now closer to the truck stop where his now deceased father worked. He sees the trucks encircling the truck stop and sits quietly in the grass for some time. At night, Bill and Brett notice a green light in the sky, and Brett tells Bill she thinks it's a comet. Later, Bill asks her if she can sail, and Brett says a little. Bill then reveals that he knows a possibly safe place called Haven, an island where there are no motor vehicles around. Now frustrated and angry at the trucks, Wanda goes outside screaming at the trucks and confronting them for attacking humans who made and maintains them. One of the trucks nearly knocks her down, but Bill carries her back into the building. That night, Lorman is heard screaming from the ditch. Kurt and Bill cautiously leave through the sewers to rescue Lorman. Meanwhile, Deke crawls through a tunnel and finds Lorman lying in the ditch, his body covered in mud. Deke waves his hand over Lorman's face. He snaps his fingers and checks for Lorman's heartbeat. It seems Lorman is dead now. So Deke turns and tries to leave, but Lorman grabs him on the leg, asking him to pull him out of the ditch, and threatening to eliminate the boy if he doesn't get him out of the ditch. Bill and Kurt then find Deke struggling to free himself from Lorman's grip. They rescue the boy from Lorman's grip, and just then, a truck notices their presence and tries to slam into them, but they are fast enough to enter the sewer and escape the attack. As soon as they are out of the sewer, Deke asks Bill if his father is okay, but Bill does not give an answer. Meanwhile, some of the survivors at the truck stop are already worried about Bill and Kurt, especially Connie, who tried to stop her husband from leaving and who now thinks that the men must have been eliminated by a truck. Bill and Kurt then appear with Deke. A truck tries to attack them, but Bill destroys the truck using a rocket launcher. Again, Deke asks of his father, and this time, Hendershot tells the boy that his father has been eliminated, and the other survivors confirm this. Deke breaks down in tears while Bill tries to console the boy. Brett, upset at Hendershot for the careless manner with which he announced Duncan's death, slaps Hendershot, saying it's just a little lesson. She then walks away. In the morning, a Caterpillar bulldozer and a military mule arrive at the truck stop. Deke notices the vehicles drive into the truck stop and alerts Bill about it. The bulldozer slams a smaller car into the restaurant, and Hendershot gets his rocket launcher and destroys the bulldozer. The mule then starts shooting randomly into the restaurant with its post-mounted machine gun, eliminating some of the survivors, including Hendershot. Wanda goes out with a rocket launcher, angrily yelling at the military mule. She gets shot repeatedly by the mule, but before she finally dies, she destroys a truck with a rocket launcher. The mule then starts to talk with its horn. Deke is able to decode what the mule is saying. He gets a pen and a piece of paper and writes down what the mule is saying. And according to the mule, the vehicles want to be refueled, and they promise not to harm the humans if their request is granted. They equally threaten to eliminate all the survivors if they don't get refueled. Joey points out that they are out of power at the moment and won't be able to refuel the vehicles. As soon as Joey mentions this, power is immediately restored. Bill then steps out, covers Wanda's remains and goes closer to one of the trucks. He instructs the truck to summon its colleagues so that they all can be refueled. The trucks soon line up and each of them drive away as soon as it is refueled. Bill feels completely tired after refilling the trucks. Brett hugs him and helps him get inside. She then massages his face with a damp towel. As Brett attends to him, Bill expresses his belief that what is currently happening is about some aliens who want to eliminate humans and take over Earth. The aliens are apparently manipulating the machines on Earth in order to use them to achieve their goal. Bill later destroys the military mule by using a grenade that causes it to explode. The survivors later leave the truck stop through the sewer. And as soon as they are out of the truck stop, the trucks go on to demolish the place completely. Almost every survivor has a gun as they head to the marina, from where they can sail off to a safer place. They notice a smaller driverless truck moving towards them and shoot at the truck repeatedly until it explodes. They soon arrive at the marina, but Brad, one of the truck drivers, moves closer to a woman who has died in her car and takes her ring. He turns around and finds a truck driving toward him. It's too late to escape now, so the truck runs over and eliminates Brad. Bill destroys the truck with a rocket launcher, after which the survivors then board a boat. As they sail off, Bill reassures Deke that everything is definitely going to be fine. The closing text at the end of the movie explains that a large UFO equipped with a laser cannon and some nuclear missiles was destroyed in space 2 days later by a Russian weather satellite. And 6 days later, Earth finally passes beyond the tail of the comet, just as predicted. And these survivors remain alive. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.